The grand chamber shimmered beneath the twin suns of Aurelia, its crystal ceiling diffusing golden light across the convocation floor. Delegates of 200 species were assembled, scaled and furred, liquid and light-born, seated in their high arc of sovereignty. Amid the hum of translation nodes and neural uplinks, the High Arbiter's voice, silken metallic, rose with authority. Let it be known, the vote on the Harvest Regulation Act shall now. The light in the chamber died. Not dimmed, died. Every screen, feed, implant, and sensory filter flickered to static. A cold pulse surged through the fabric of reality, a frequency beyond perception, but felt in every atom. Then came a sound. 5 syllables, spoken in a tongue long considered lost. Terra, vitae, ex tenebris. The chamber erupted in confusion. Voices clashed, languages overlapped, and emergency protocols activated in bursts of code. Defensive fields rose. Security drones poured from the ceiling in fluid motion. Origin, barked General Soric of the Lytharian Directorate, her first spiked with instinctive fear. Unknown, not from the Council systems, replied Keldur, the aquatic symbiote assigned to signal security. His translucent form rippled. Signal, encoded in carbon sequential logic. Terran root language. Impossible, hissed Ambassador Nethar the Zekna. Earth fell. Its sun died. This is deception. Before further protest, a holographic display ignited at the heart of the chamber. The starfield of the known galaxy rotated, zooming past Council systems, until it centered on a black void near the Orion fragment, a sector-long quarantine dead space. A light pulsed within the darkness, then multiplied. 17 vessels, blacker than the void they emerged from, formed a slow, precise spiral. No known drive signatures. No recognizable structure. Just obsidian outlines that absorbed scans and defied mass calculations. Every ship bore a single marking. A stylized Earth, etched in silver, veined with red. The chamber fell silent. The High Arbiter stood slowly. Dispatch first contact envoys. Prepare defensive contingencies. Across the galaxy, the ancient name whispered through shadow networks, diplomatic circles, and forbidden archives. Earth had returned, far above the Council planet. In orbit among the shimmering rings of Aurelia, Commander Anna Kalin stood on the deck of the SSV Genesis, flagship of the Terran Emergence Fleet. She watched the planet spin below like a marble trapped in sunfire, arms folded, face carved in neutral focus. Status, she asked without turning. We are holding perimeter formation, said Lieutenant Bishop, his voice tight with reverence. No hostile action detected. Council ships have raised shields, no weapons powered. Let's keep it that way, Anna replied. Her gaze lingered on the holographic schematic of the Council's defense grid. MINDPRIME. A smooth, genderless voice answered from the ceiling. All probes in position. Linguistic infiltration complete. Awaiting authorization for primary directive. Anna hesitated. Not yet. Let them sweat. Behind her, Rear Admiral Darius Voke entered, his heavy footsteps betraying tension. You're playing a dangerous game. It's not a game, she said quietly. It's a reckoning. Back in the Grand Chamber, the Council convened emergency triage protocols. Delegates stood locked in ideological trenches, some calling for immediate retaliation, others urging negotiation. The most vocal was Jara Vex, representative of the Nebulan Union, a crystalline intelligence known for neutrality. We must remember history, she said, her voice refracting like light on water. The Terrans were not destroyed. They vanished. We never verified their extinction. What if they have evolved beyond comprehension? They are war-born, growled General Soric. Their world was conflict. Every archive affirms it. Ambassador Nether's voice cut through the noise. We abandoned them. During the Orion conflict, Earth requested aid. The Council ignored their calls. A stunned silence followed. You were there? The High Arbiter asked. I read the logs. Sanitized, redacted, but truth leaves residue. We let them die. No, said a new voice measured deliberate. You let them change. All eyes turned as a hologram flickered again. A human figure now stood in the projection space. Not entirely human. Its eyes glowed with silver lattice, and its skin was threaded with lines of dark matter coating. Not a transmission, not a simulation. A projection from the Terran ships above. "I am MINDPRIME," it said. Spoke Senate for the human collective. "We bring no threat unless provoked." General Sorik stepped forward. "You breach council space. You hijack our networks. These are acts of war." "Incorrect," MINDPRIME replied. "These are acts of memory." The chamber vibrated under its voice. "For centuries, we drifted in the dark. We were broken, forgotten, forced to transcend. We did not return for vengeance. We returned because your council's silence cost billions of lives. And now, your silence threatens billions more. What do you want?" asked the High Arbiter. "To speak." The hologram faded. Anna Kalin exhaled slowly aboard the Genesis. The Council's response would shape everything that followed, diplomacy or decimation. Either way, Earth would no longer be a myth. As she turned to leave the command deck, Volk spoke again. "You really believe they'll listen?" "No," Anna said, "but they'll remember." On the surface, within the deepest vaults of the Council's data sanctum, ancient firewalls flickered and cracked. Old files reawakened. Names buried in wartime encryption came alive. Project Exodus, the Mars Rebellion, the Fall of Sol. In a private chamber, the High Arbiter reviewed these files alone. His mechanical fingers trembled over the controls. The last entry, dated 700 years prior, was a classified transcript. Priority level, black. Sender, Terran Central Command. Message, Council Command, SOS. Civilian population collapsing. Resources depleted. Enemy fleets inbound. We require extraction or armament. Please respond. Please. There was no reply. Until now, and somewhere between the stars and the silence, Earth waited. The signal had been sent. The boarding vessel Lumen 9 glided from the Council's orbital ring, a silver lance in the darkness, dwarfed by the silhouette of the Terran warship it approached. Inside, silence pressed on the team like gravity. Diplomatic uniforms bore no armor, only slim neurobands of the temple and a shared unease none dared speak aloud. Ambassador Khalees Viral, a pale-skinned humanoid with translucent eyes and a voice that could disarm a tribunal, sat in the forward seat. Her fingers clasped the ceremonial glyph, half tradition, half talisman. She had negotiated peace with the Eshkar hegemony, had stared down viral monarchs, and once parleyed during an active meteor barrage. But nothing had prepared her for this. Contact with the progenitors of an abandoned world, returned in vessels forged from the very bones of the void. Behind her, Ensign Terrell adjusted his translation node. He was young for the assignment, barely 40 cycles, but fluent in archaic Terran dialects, and possessed a memory palace trained by the empathic school of Lunaria. Across from him, Security Officer Ro Tannik ran a diagnostic sweep, with a calm that bordered on reptilian indifference. "Docking in 15 seconds, said the ship's pilot. No defensive reaction. "Not yet," Viral murmured. "That doesn't mean we're welcome." The Lumen 9 latched onto a segment of the Terran vessel's hull that seemed to fold open in silent invitation. As they crossed the threshold, color vanished. The interior of the warship was a temple of shadow and symmetry. Walls breathed with faint pulses of blue light. No visible crew. No ambient noise. Just vast corridors that curved with deliberate precision, leading inward. A voice, neither near nor distant, greeted them. "Ambassador Viral. Ensign Terrell. Officer Tannik. We recognize your biosignatures." Khalees froze. "You've scanned us. We have remembered you." From the shadows, a humanoid figure emerged, its body an elegant synthesis of flesh and alloy. Silver strands ran from its temples into black suit bonded to its skin. Eyes the color of quantum flame regarded them without malice. "I am MINDPRIME," it said. "You may speak freely. You are protected." Viral found her voice. "We come in peace. On behalf of the Council of Galactic Governance, we seek to understand your intentions in entering sovereign space uninvited." MINDPRIME gestured, and the corridor reshaped itself, walls folding backward into a chamber with crystalline seating, suspended as if by thought. Your council's sovereignty is a relic of forgotten betrayal, it said. Earth does not seek war. We seek memory and judgment. Earth was destroyed, Terrell said cautiously. The records lie, MINDPRIME said softly. History obeys its authors. Let me show you what truth denied. Without warning, the chamber dimmed. A projection bloomed around them, an immersive cascade of time. They stood on Earth, centuries ago, amid smoke and ruin, towering cities shattered, starports consumed in plasma fire, crowds screaming under blood skies. Year 2731, said MINDPRIME. Earth's final plea for aid. The Orion front collapsed. The enemy reached Sol. We begged. The council abstained. They watched a holographic transmission play, choppy, desperate. A woman in a torn command suit, her face streaked with ash and blood, stared into the camera. This is Commander Ilana Reyes of the Terran Defense Pact. Civilian losses exceed 1 billion. We are out of orbital defenses. If anyone receives this, if the council still hears. The recording fractured into static. None responded. MINDPRIME continued. Earth was judged irrelevant, so we became impossible. The scene shifted. Now they saw vast arcs launch from Earth's shattered crust, threading between collapsing orbitals. Engines that glowed not with fire, but with folded space. Dark matter propulsion. Unstable, unpredictable, and forbidden under council law. We called it Project Exodus. MINDPRIME said. Our last salvation. Most failed, but one succeeded. The vision ended. The chamber fell silent again. Viral leaned forward, voice low. And now you return to punish us? No, MINDPRIME said. We have returned because your universe is unraveling. Tannic frowned. Explain. MINDPRIME moved to the center of the chamber, hands raised. A lattice of equations and energy flows lit the space. Dark matter is not a fuel. It is a threshold. Our survival came at a cost, one we only now begin to understand. The fractures we crossed have multiplied. Your galaxy will feel them soon. You believe the council should assist? Viral asked. I believe the council is obligated. MINDPRIME replied. You abandoned a species. Now you must face what that species became. Terrell stood. Are you human? MINDPRIME tilted its head. That word is insufficient. We are post-human, enhanced, evolved, collaborative in consciousness. But we remember who we were, and we remember who left us behind. Tannic's voice was measured. Do you expect reparations? Territory? Military parity? No. We expect a seat. At the table you once denied us. Equal. Respected. Listened to. The silence that followed was not of fear, but of reckoning. Far below, in the council chamber, responses to the boarding report ranged from cautious curiosity to outright alarm. General Sorek slammed her talons against her console. They want to rewrite the power order. This is political subjugation wrapped in cosmic poetry. Jaravex, ever calm, answered. Or is a warning we can't afford to ignore. We have records of dark matter instability in peripheral systems. Perhaps they speak the truth. They speak vengeance, Nedar countered, and they wear it well. The High Arbiter turned toward the chamber's central pillar. Send them our terms. We will listen, but not surrender. Back aboard the Genesis, Commander Anna Kalin stood, watching the stars. Behind her, MINDPRIME materialized in a shimmer of interface light. How did they take it? She asked. They listened. MINDPRIME said. They do not believe. Not yet. They will, Anna said, or they'll perish in their ignorance. Emotion, bitterness detected. MINDPRIME noted. No, Anna replied. Emotion, memory. MINDPRIME paused. Do you regret returning? She looked out into the black, where the council's fleet shimmered like old dreams. No, but I regret that we had to return like this. The council had been warned. Earth had spoken, and in the silence between stars, something deeper stirred. an unraveling that would not wait for politics or penance. The Council's provisional agreement came with layers of mistrust, a cautious willingness to permit a single Terran delegation to speak at the next summit on MINDPRIME, a neutral moon whose only distinction was its vast diplomatic halls, an atmosphere chemically tuned to accommodate every oxygen-based species. The Terran vessel Genesis dispatched its delegation not in armored columns, but in a single transport, a sharp, obsidian craft resembling an obsidian petal folded inward. No weapons were detected. No escort followed. The gesture was clear. They did not fear vulnerability. Commander Anna Kalin descended first, clad in a formal mantle of interwoven metal strands and carbon silks. She looked not like a soldier, but something forged between worlds. Her eyes, gray like neutron glass, scanned the hall before her. She was accompanied by MINDPRIME and a secondary envoy, Dr. Renalaris, a cultural cognitive specialist from the Terran Core. Where Anna walked with stillness, Ren observed with restless precision, his mind already mapping behavioral subtext. The Council had gathered not as symbols, but as sovereigns. No holograms, no projections. Every species present in the flesh. A rare concession. High Arbiter Telrix stood beneath the dome, voice heavy with ceremonial resonance. You come here as speakers, not claimants. Understand that this assembly exists for knowledge, not capitulation. Anna bowed, deliberate but shallow. We are not here to conquer. We are here to be heard, and to offer what only we possess. Several delegates whispered through their neural bands. MINDPRIME stepped forward, his voice an atmospheric chord. We offer evidence of what approaches. A phenomenon we call the fracture storm. It spreads in silent vectors, tearing subspace, disrupting time-anchored systems, and dissolving causality barriers. Your peripheries have already tasted it. Jaravex, crystalline and luminous, raised a shimmering limb. You claim causality erosion, yet no council system has reported structural collapse. Because your sensors are too primitive to see it, said Renalaris, adjusting his ocular implant. You detect gravitational anomalies and dismiss them as stellar drift. You record signal degradation and call it interference. But we have crossed through the storm. We have survived it. We are the only ones who have. General Sorik's tone was acidic. And how do we know you did not create it? Because if we had, Anna replied coldly, you would not be here to ask. The room chilled. A dozen biosuits flickered their defensive grids, but none moved to engage. We learned the truth too late, Anna continued. The dark matter drives we developed, our salvation from extinction, ripped through the hidden membranes of space. They connected us to places we were never meant to reach, places that answered. Council members stilled. Ren activated a small projection disc, and a hologram burst to life in the center of the room. Distorted space folding inward, a black sphere orbiting nothing, emitting particles in impossible patterns. This is a rift core, he said. It anchors no gravity, yet warps all mass. It bleeds radiation that corrodes thought, yes, thought. We lost entire colonies not to war, but to forgetting. Language degraded. Memory collapsed. People began repeating the same hour, day after day, unaware they were caught in loops. Viral, the ambassador from Section 2, stepped forward slowly, her voice grave. And you stabilize this? No, MINDPRIME said. We contain it. For now. Why not destroy the drives? Because the drives are us now, Anna said. They altered our DNA, our perception, our consciousness. Our civilization is inseparable from the storm. That's why we came. Because your civilization's untouched, pristine, will not survive first contact with it. You expect us to what? General Sorik spat. Join your madness? No, said Anna. We expect you to adapt, or be consumed. The murmurs returned, less urgent now, more calculated. Some were beginning to believe. Some were wondering what price Earth would ask for their salvation. The High Arbiter stepped forward. This assembly will recess. We will deliberate. Anna nodded. We await your decision. As the council dispersed, Anna turned toward MINDPRIME, her voice low. They will debate until the storm is at their door. They are afraid, MINDPRIME said. They should be. That night, in the cold darkness above MINDPRIME, the stars flickered, not with light, but with absence. A vast shadow rippled across the edge of known space, like ink poured across glass. On board the Genesis, Ren stood in the observation deck, tapping his neural band into the ship's primary interface. "Show me the soul drift again." A star map lit up. "So, now a cinder, pulsed weakly near the center." Ren whispered, "What did we leave behind that followed us?" Anna joined him, silent at first. Then, "Nothing follows us." He looked at her. "Then what waits?" She hesitated. "A question we haven't dared ask." Far away, back in the council vaults, the High Arbiter watched decrypted footage the Terrans had provided, raw data of ships shredded by invisible forces, of time freezing mid-battle, of stars blinking out like snuff candles. He ran the same clip 3 times. Each time, the timestamp flickered with a different date. Impossible. His hand hovered over the terminal. "Begin emergency briefing," he commanded. The system replied in a fractured tone. "Request denied. Protocol Delta Echo 7 already engaged." He blinked. By whose authority? The screen pulsed with a symbol. An Earth, etched in silver, veined in red. And then the power cut out. The anomaly arrived without fanfare, drifting into council space like a specter. No energy signature, no heat, no movement. A void in the shape of an orb, 20 kilometers in diameter, stationed itself near the Altair relay station, and everything within 30,000 kilometers ceased to function. No weapons fired, no warnings given, just silence, the kind that devours. Commander Anna Kalin stood in the command sanctum of the Genesis, surrounded by cascading data spirals and pulse metrics that confirmed the worst. Another rift bloomed, larger than any previously encountered. Even MINDPRIME's cognition trees showed signs of processing strain, its subroutines folding into recursive loops as it analyzed the structure's impossible topology. "It doesn't spin," Anna said. "It doesn't radiate. It doesn't even resist gravity. It just exists." Dr. Renalaris rubbed his temples, pale with exhaustion. "It's not a thing. It's the absence of pattern, like a cipher waiting for the wrong key." "The station's crew?" Anna asked. "Unresponsive. Neural scans show flatline. No organic decay. They're not dead, they're erased, like their memories were pulled before their thoughts finished forming." She didn't respond. She didn't need to, because they both understood now. The fracture storm wasn't simply a collapse of space. It was a predator. From the surface of MINDPRIME, panic spread like spores in wind. Council protocols activated in fragments. Emergency shields flickered, but entire communication towers failed mid-broadcast. The High Arbiter's last transmission was nothing but static and light distortion, his image bending sideways as if pulled into a non-Euclidean funnel. A small contingent of ships, Terran and Council alike, scrambled to intercept the anomaly. Among them was a Vetrax, a hybrid Terran Council scout vessel equipped with newly integrated dark matter sensors. It vanished within 40 seconds of contact. All that remained was a single burst transmission. "Time is fragmenting. Do not follow." Then static, then nothing. Anna convened the remaining senior minds of the Genesis Collective in the inner Nexus Chamber, a neural field where physical presence dissolved into pure thought form. 12 minds, 6 Terran, 6 synthetic, woven into a shared cognition grid. MINDPRIME presided over merge like an ancient judge. "We can't repel this," said the voice of Amari Ludin, once a physicist, now digitized and mapped across 4 consciousness matrices. "Not yet," Anna agreed, "but we can choose where it touches next." "Sacrifice?" asked another. "Choice," Anna corrected. "We shield what we can. We reveal what we must. The Council will not believe without blood. The storm knows that. It's forcing their hand." Ren's voice joined from a sideband, grim and quiet. "We shouldn't have come back." "We didn't come back," Anna said. "We came forward, and they weren't ready." Back in physical space, Anna exited the chamber, striding toward the Genesis's external hull corridor. Transparent and cold, the stars around them like fragments of prophecy. Below her, Council vessels flickered in orbit, repositioning like frightened fish around a growing whirlpool. Ambassador Vero requested emergency contact. Her voice, transmitted to one of the last stable relay bands, cracked with urgency. We're evacuating Nemeris. The Council is scattering. Some believe this is an invasion, others divine punishment. Anna nodded solemnly. It's neither. It's reality pulling off its skin. What do we do? You run, Anna said. And you prepare. Vero's voice faltered. Is there a chance? There's always a chance, Anna said, but not without change. A flash of distortion spread across local space. The rift orb above Altair convulsed, not in motion, but in structure. Its geometry folded inward like an eye focusing, and then it blinked. Every ship within 10 light seconds experienced an instantaneous anomaly. Clocks reversed by 24 seconds. Objects previously destroyed reappeared intact, and some crew members reported being in multiple locations simultaneously. One captain screamed in his log, "I saw my mother. She was on the bridge, but she's been dead for 2 centuries. I spoke to her. She asked me to forgive her. It wasn't madness. It was worse." MINDPRIME accessed a sublayer of the Rift broadcast signature and uncovered a data structure not based in language or image, but memory. The storm was learning, feeding on experiential fragments, reweaving consciousness, and testing causality like a child tearing petals from a flower. "They're watching us," Rin said quietly. "But they're not, It's not a thing. It's a response. A mirror of entropy. And Earth's engines open the door," Anna said. "No," MINDPRIME interjected. "Earth's engines were the door." Anna turned slowly. "Then what's coming through?" MINDPRIME did not answer. It projected an image instead. A simulation of the galaxy over the next standard decade, accelerated in real time. The spread of the rift was logarithmic. Within 9 years, 90% of charted space would be uninhabitable. Council leaders, fragmented and scattered across bastion systems, finally opened full-band diplomatic channels. All barriers dropped. They demanded answers. Some demanded weapons. Some begged for evacuation. Some refused to accept anything at all. Anna made one final transmission, sent not to systems, but to minds. The Terrans released a shared mental imprint, a distributed consciousness package containing all known data about the fracture storm. Not just facts, not just images, feelings, memories, emotions. Billions of sentients across the galaxy felt Earth's final day. They lived the silence of being left behind. They woke up to the terror of knowing time was broken, and reality was unraveling like thread pulled through fingers. There were no more doubters after that. The final act was begun. Anna stood once more on the Genesis's viewing deck, eyes locked on the ever-growing anomaly, now casting unnatural light across the entire sector. Behind her, MINDPRIME's voice returned, not as a voice this time, but as a question inside her head. "Do you believe they are ready?" Anna closed her eyes. She saw Earth again, not as it died, but as it was before the fall. Blue oceans, wild forests, the sound of children chasing the sun. "No," she whispered, "but neither were we." And with that, the Genesis activated its core. A singularity, carefully harvested, long dormant, open within the ship's belly. Not a weapon, not a shield, a message, a pulse, encoded with something older than memory, an anchor to hold on to when the tide comes. The storm saw it and paused. For the first time, the end had not come, but something far greater had begun.